Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome into the Vegas Insider YouTube channel, the Daily Insider. I am Thom Cunningham, and we are bringing to you live a 6 p.m. show. This is the first time we're doing this tonight. Figured might as well try it, considering that most of the games start at 7 p.m. anyways, and odds, money lines, things like that. Lineups aren't even set yet. Things are always moving throughout the day, so we figured we'd try it at 6 p.m. Just want to give you a reminder to try to win some free picks for the week. You can do that by liking and subscribing to our YouTube channel, and also register with us on VegasInsider.com because you need a VI ID number in order to win a week's worth of free picks, as you can see with this big old red box right below me with an arrow pointing down. All you have to do is leave your best bet for the night in the comment section of this video, and go ahead and leave your Vegas Insider ID as well. That way we can actually contact you and identify you. And if your bet wins, you could be selected for a week of free picks. And that could be any bet. It could be a run total, puck line, end of first quarter total. It could be really anything you guys want. So yeah, go ahead and leave your best bet, leave your Vegas ID number as well, and make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. So that's really all you have to do. And also your bet has to hit. So good luck with that. Let's try to keep this short and sweet. We're going to go through the games tonight, go through all the major leagues. We'll start with the NBA since it's the first one up here right here. What do we got tonight? Monday, May 3rd. So we have only a handful of games. Hockey, that's the big one tonight. I think every team in the league plays tonight for hockey. But with NBA, there's a handful of games. There's not a ton of games. There's not only 4 games either. So we have a good selection here. Let's start with the first game on the docket. I see Orlando traveling to Detroit. That's the first game on the evening. We have the Detroit Pistons, who have won 8 of their last 9 home games when facing Orlando. Also, Orlando has gone over the point total in 5 of its last 6 games. So those are the 2 trends to look for here. Keep in mind that Detroit, they've actually covered the spread in 4 of 5 games when facing Orlando as well. The last 2 games Detroit has covered against Orlando, they were the underdogs. And the 2 prior to that, they were favored, so that doesn't really seem to matter. But it does seem like Detroit, they win at home against Orlando. They tend to cover against Orlando, whether they're an underdog or a favorite, so might want to lean in that direction tonight. Again, though, check lineups. Indiana and Washington, moving on. We've got the Pacers and the Wizards. The Wizards are playing some of the best basketball in the NBA right now. They're finally clicking on all cylinders. As you know, I don't know if you've listened to this show in the past, but Russell Westbrook has been a triple-double machine. His odds to get a triple-double in Washington's last game was -200. So typically I would, recommend taking Russell Westbrook for a triple-double, but it's -200, so I would look elsewhere for this game. Looking at some trends, we'll get away from the props. Might revisit it in a minute. The Pacers, they've won 3 of their last 4 games when facing the Wizards. They've covered the spread in 3 of 4 games as well. The point total has gone over in 3 of the last 4 games played between these 2 teams. However, Washington has won 9 straight games in a row when facing a team with a losing record. And Indiana, they have seen the point total go over in 4 straight games. So I think the point total going over here, Indiana has seen the point total go over in 4 straight. The point total has gone over in 3 of the last 4 games played between the Pacers and the Wizards. So I would maybe look into the point total going over there. But of the 2 trends in terms of a team winning, I think Washington would get it done. They've won 9 in a row when facing a team with a losing record. Moving on now, Golden State and New Orleans. This is a pretty big game. I believe this is the Marvel game that ESPN is showcasing. I don't know what the heck that means. I don't know if it's what Nickelodeon did with the NFL playoff game or something similar. Time will tell, though, just like the results of these games and if your bets will hit or not. So New Orleans, they're kind of a tricky team because the way odds makers set their lines, it's as if they're one of the dominant teams in the NBA, and they're not. I'm not even sure they're going to make the playoffs this year, or the play-in for that matter. So some trends to look for here actually favor Golden State winning this game. Golden State has won 17 of their last 20 games when playing in New Orleans. Also, New Orleans, they have failed to cover the spread in 5 straight games after going into overtime the game prior. If you recall, New Orleans went into overtime in their last game against, Minnesota? And Minnesota, Minnesota, they're kind of playing well too. I was about to knock New Orleans for losing or for playing a close game in Minnesota, but Minnesota, they've been covering the spread pretty well as of lately. The point total has gone under in 3 straight games played between Golden State and New Orleans. Maybe you want to look into that as well. But I like Golden State here. I think there's some good trends to back the Warriors. Portland and Atlanta. This is a bit of a tricky game, in my opinion. Now, obviously, you want to check lineups, and I believe Trae Young's going to be playing. But yeah, he's got odds, so he's in. Portland, they've seen the road team win 8 straight games. They were the road team in their last game against Boston, and they won that game by 10 points. They're the road team now against Atlanta. So Portland, they've seen the road team win 8 straight games. They're the road team tonight. Might want to look into that direction. Also, keep in mind, Portland has covered the spread in 5 of their last 6 games when facing Atlanta. So there are some trends backing Portland in hot Atlanta tonight. In terms of prop betting, Bogdan Bogdanovic, he has seen 20 points or more in 8 straight games when facing a team with a winning record. He has odds to go over 17.5 points at plus 100, so you might want to look in that direction for that game. Scroll down a little bit. We got the Sixers and the Bulls. Don't really see the Bulls winning this game. The Bulls really struggle against teams with winning records. They've lost 14 of 15 home games when facing a team with a winning record. With a winning record. Also, Philadelphia, they've covered the spread in 5 of 6 when facing Chicago, so there's some trends to like surrounding the Sixers there. The point total is a bit up and down. They went over in their last meeting. They went under in the meeting prior. There's no real glue that sticks with the point total for this game. So I would look towards Philly winning. They've won 5 in a row against the Bulls. They've also covered the spread in 4 of 5 when facing Chicago, as we have just mentioned already. So I'd probably lean Sixers in that regard. This is a huge game. New York and Memphis. This is going to be a fun game to watch. 2 teams on the rise. Young, great, gritty talent on both sides of the court between these 2 teams. Memphis, they have seen the underdog win 5 of 7 games. New York is the underdog, as you can see with the line, minus 3.5 favoring the Grizzlies. New York, they have covered the spread in 6 straight games when playing on the second game of a back-to-back. If you recall, New York just played last night. So they have a bunch of trends that not only favor them winning this game as the underdog, not only covering the game as the underdog, but possibly winning as well. I'll continue to ride the Julius Randle prop betting train until it falls off the tracks. Julius Randle has scored 31 points or more in 8 of 10 games. His odds to go over 26.5 total points is minus 107. That's kind of insane, if you ask me. I would jump all over that, but that's about it. I think looking at the Knicks to cover and Julius Randle to touch over 27.5 should be locks. Only 2 more games. I told you we were going short and sweet here. The San Antonio Spurs are going to take on the Utah Jazz. And Utah, they've won 27 of 29 home games, I think it is. Yes, that is correct. So Utah is pretty much unbeatable at home. San Antonio, they've covered the spread in 4 straight road games when playing the second game of a back-to-back. So just be wary about the spread if you are leaning towards Utah. The minus 7.5 might be a bit too much. But Utah should win. Here's an interesting prop bet you might want to consider. Royce O'Neal. He has seen 8 or more rebounds in 5 of 6 home games. He has odds to go over 7.5 rebounds at minus 113. He also has plus value. Royce O'Neal has made 2 or more three-pointers in 4 straight games when Utah is the favorite. Royce O'Neal has odds at plus 110 to connect for over 1.5 three-pointers in this game. That might be the best prop bet of the night right there. So Royce O'Neal over 1.5 three-pointers at plus 110. He has hit 2 or more in 4 straight when Utah is the favorite. And then finally, the big game. I don't think LeBron is playing, though. You have the Denver Nuggets, who are road favorites, going up against the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, Anthony Davis is going to play, but LeBron James is out. He is going to nurse that injury. The Lakers, they have failed to cover the spread in 7 straight games, and Denver has won 10 straight games when facing a team who is playing the second game of a back-to-back. So the Lakers are now playing the second game of a back-to-back. They face an opponent who has won 10 straight against teams who are playing the second of a back-to-back. and LA has failed to cover the spread in 7 straight games. I think there's a lot to like about Denver here. I'm looking at some prop betting. Not much stands out. Aaron Gordon, might want to look into this. Aaron Gordon has scored 12 points or more in 5 straight games when facing the Lakers. He has odds to score over 10.5 points at -113. So you have somewhat cheap odds, -113. I mean, it's not plus value you're getting, but it's somewhat low for minus value, and the point total is low. 10.5 for Aaron Gordon should be doable. But again, Anthony Davis is playing. LeBron's out, though. So take that with a grain of salt, but I think Denver should be able to cover and get the job done for this one. So let's go to baseball now. But before we do, we've got some news in the baseball world. The Giants and Rockies, that has been postponed due to weather. So there will be a doubleheader tomorrow. That is coming straight from our weather insight man, Kevin Rogers. So thanks for the heads up there, Kevin. Let's move to some Major League Baseball. Let me just get to the arena here. Some scores. Isn't this great? You have all the pitching matchups. You have the money lines, the OUs, the records, all in one place. The betting trends. This is so great. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We got the Brewers and the Phillies. We got the Brew Crew traveling to Liberty City. Let's see here. Just looking for some trends. The Brewers, they have won 8 straight games after losing the game prior. So this is a team that doesn't necessarily drop back-to-backs often. They now head to, they now face a team that, what has Philly been doing? I know they've been struggling lately. Philly, yeah, they've lost 2 straight. They've lost 3 of their last 4. They've lost 4 of their last 6. So it's kind of inconsistency from Philly. I know Bryce Harper actually struck out to lose the game against the Mets Sunday Night Baseball last night, in which the Mets should have won that game. I mean, they did win the game, but they should have won easily. The 9th inning, Philly was able to put up a couple runs to make it a 1-run game. It was 8-7, and then Bryce Harper struck out. But there is a prop around Bryce Harper tonight. He has seen at least 1 hit in 7 straight home games. Wow, you get Bryce Harper to get a hit at -200. Now, I know that's a bit expensive, but it is Bryce Harper, after all, as a former MVP caliber player. Then you have Christian Yelich, who has hit a home run in 3 of 4 games when facing Philadelphia. He has a prop odd to go yard at +380. Last time we recommended a home run prop bet, it was Byron Buxton. He went yard in the first inning at +450. So you might want to look into these prop bets if you are uncertain on a winner. But Milwaukee, they have won 8 straight games after losing the game prior. Keep in mind also the run total has gone over in 3 of 4 games played between these two teams. They don't exactly have studs on the mound for this one. The Dodgers, they're going to be taking on the Cubbies. Dustin May, he's out for the season for the Dodgers. That's huge news for LA. It's not necessarily a huge blow to the rotation, but it is, it's the back end of that rotation. He was one of the young arms on that staff that could alleviate maybe some of the older arms in that staff as the season progressed. But he's out, Tommy John, so he is done. Let's go to the Dodgers and the Cubs now. What do we got? Pulling up these trends. All right, the Dodgers, they have lost 8 straight games when playing in Wrigley Field after winning on the road the game prior. The Dodgers are coming off a road win, and they have lost 8 straight when playing in Wrigley Field after doing so. So just keep that in mind. Also, Chicago, they have covered the +1.5 run line in 2 straight games when facing the Dodgers. The Dodgers have lost 3 of 4 games. This isn't a team that's a lock at this point right now to start winning games. And they're they're valued, I'm sure, very high. -180 tonight. That's almost touching 200 for a team that's lost 3 of the last 4. I'm just not sold on. Now, you could go to the run total. Both teams have gone under more times than not, but personally, this was a game I might want to stay away from or potentially live bet. If the Dodgers get down, they should win this game. They just put up 16 runs to get out of their 3-game losing streak funk, so maybe they've got the momentum back, but I'm not paying 180 to find out. The New York Mets take on the St. Louis Cardinals. This is our featured game of the night. Kevin Rogers has a preview up on our website for this game. Definitely want to check that out. 7:45 first pitch time. Looking at some of the trends of the Mets, they've seen the underdog win 5 straight games. And in this game, who's the underdog? The Mets are the underdog, so you might want to look into that. a little bit. The Mets, they've won the first inning in 3 of 4 games when playing in St. Louis. The Mets have odds to win the first inning at plus 280. Might want to look into that. And the run total has gone over in 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams. Now, I say that the Mets have gone under in 14 of their 22 games this year. So I think of the two trends, I have a little bit more conviction in the Mets. Now, the underdog has covered the run line in 5 straight games played between these two teams. So there's a lot to like about the Mets. If you don't think the Mets are going to win, but you're a little uncertain on the Cardinals, take the run line. Take the plus 1.5 run line for the Mets. But if you've got the courage and you've got the conviction in New York to get the job done as underdogs, they've seen the underdog win 5 straight games. Feel free to go in that direction. I like the plus 1.5, though, for New York. Pittsburgh, they travel to San Diego. Pittsburgh has a trend in which they cannot win on Monday. I'm pulling it up right now. I thought it was a bit odd and specific. The Pirates have lost 8 straight games when playing on a Monday. They've also lost the first inning in 3 straight games when playing at night, and they have trailed after the first 3 innings in 4 straight games. So there's a lot to like about San Diego, not only winning this game, but also jumping on the Pirates early. The run total has gone over in 4 of the last 5 meetings played between Pittsburgh and San Diego. Keep that in mind as well. No player prop bets that I'm seeing that I like, so we are going to move on. What's the next game? Texas, Minnesota. Now, Minnesota, they have a hard time finding consistency this year. Minnesota, let's see. They've lost 5 straight games as the favorite after winning at home the game prior. So anytime Minnesota wins at home, the very next game their expectations are to win, they lose. So keep that in mind. Texas, they also do a good job of winning as underdogs. Usually that's at home, but now they're facing a team that struggles with consistency, so you might want to look into that a little bit. But Minnesota, look, they've won 4 straight games against Texas. They've covered the run line in all 4 of those games against Texas. So this is a bit of a tricky one. I think Minnesota is fine to win. There are some player prop bets, though, that I think I would rather look into than picking a winner for this game because I'm so unsold on Minnesota, and I like Texas as an underdog most nights. But that's in Arlington. That's not in St. Paul or Minneapolis. So here's some prop bets that have some value that you could potentially see some big winnings on if you're not sold on a winner for this game. So Nelson Cruz has hit a home run in 2 of his last 4 home games. He has odds to go yard at plus 350. And then you have Dane Dunning, which you can get as a player prop bet. He has recorded 5 or more strikeouts in 4 of his last 5 games, and he's going up against Minnesota tonight, so maybe you want to look into that regard as well. But Nelson Cruz to go yard plus 350, or Dane Dunning to see 5 strikeouts, who Nelson Cruz will be facing in this game. So you could maybe hedge around that a little bit, but I have no conviction in Minnesota's consistency, and I am a little sold on Texas as an underdog. But again, those games come at Arlington, not on the road. So I think if I'm betting this, I'm going to go Nelson Cruz for a home run. Otherwise, I'll probably just stay away. Cleveland, Kansas City. Let's see here. Our tribe, hashtag our Cleveland. Taking on Kansas City here. Now, the Royals, they have won 4 straight games as the underdog when facing Cleveland after a road loss. Kansas City is coming off of a road loss. They now face Cleveland at home as an underdog. So there are trends to like right now for Kansas City. Kansas City has also won 4 of its last 5 games when facing Cleveland. They've covered the run line in those 4 games, and the run total has gone under in 3 of the last 4 meetings played between both teams. Kansas City, they have gone under in 16 of 26 games this season, so maybe go under here. But I do like Kansas City in a low-scoring game for this one. Moving on, we have Tampa Bay taking on the Anaheim. I still call them Anaheim. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Tampa Bay, they have won 9 straight games when playing in Anaheim at night after winning the game prior. If you recall, Tampa Bay is coming off of a 5-4 victory over the Houston Astros. Tampa Bay, they have won 3 of their last 4 games against the Angels as well, and the run total has gone over in 3 of the last 4 meetings between these two teams. Notice the run total tonight is at 8. And the run total that has gone over in 3 of the last 4 games has gone over 9, 8, and 8.5. It's cleared 8. So maybe look into the run total going over between the Rays and the Angels. We have the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Oakland Athletics, #Rise and Grind. Oakland, what an awful start they had to the year, and then they just turned it on. They got over halfway to their Moneyball record-setting 20-game win streak. They got to 13 and lost, then won the very next game. So very impressive season from them. Oakland, they have won 7 straight games after winning at home the game prior. I like Oakland in the spot. However, Toronto, they've actually won 5 straight games when facing Oakland. They've covered the run line in all those games. Now, the run total has gone under in 3 straight games played between both teams, and the run total has been set at 9.5 or less, and you're looking at 8.5 for this one, so perhaps this game does go under. Steven Matz, look, I understand if you have a lack of conviction in Steven Matz and his pitching for what he did in New York. He's, this blue chipper potential, blah, 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 who didn't really live up to the expectations, but he has pitched well in Toronto this year. Frankie Montas, we don't have to talk about how good of a pitcher he is. So if you like the run total going under, I won't fault you there. But, you have crossing trends here. You have Toronto, who has won 5 straight against Oakland. You have Oakland, who has won 7 in a row at home after winning the game prior. I think I'm going to go under here, and I think I'm going to go Toronto with the run line. Just seeing Toronto, they have Oakland's number. So yeah, as good as Oakland's playing, I think this is maybe an underdog you take. Now, plus 110 isn't valuable by any means, but it is plus value. So maybe look in Toronto's direction. But I think going under might be a safe bet here, since it's gone under in 3 straight meetings between the two clubs. Baltimore, Seattle. This should be a interesting American League game late night. I don't know how many people are going to stay up for this one. Birdland, Baltimore, they have lost 8 straight road games when playing on a Monday night. Seattle, they have won 3 of the last 4 games against Baltimore while covering the run line in all 5 games against the Orioles. Keep in mind, Seattle was the underdog in all 5 of those games. I do like Seattle in this spot. I think they're the better team. Overall, minus 130 is cheap enough for me to take as a straight-up bet. But I think I'm going to take Seattle minus 1.5. You'll see plus value there. They've covered the run line in 5 straight games against Baltimore. They're the better team. They're at home. So I think there's some things to like about the M's in this one. I'm going to go Seattle minus 1.5 for plus value here. Looks like the Dodgers and the Cubs also got postponed. I was wondering why the trends were hard to pull up. So 2 games down. Fallen to Mother Nature tonight. So let's move on to hockey. So there's a lot of hockey tonight. There's too many hockey games. I think of like the 16 games, the 15 games tonight, like 13 of them are at 7 p.m. Because, scheduling them out would make too much sense for Gary Bateman. So let's see here. Hockey. All right, so we have the Islanders and the Sabres. I don't know who in their right mind would pick the Sabres, and I don't know who in their right mind would pick the Islanders at minus 250, but we're here for you. So the Islanders, they have won 9 straight games when facing the Sabres. Again, minus 250 for a road team in hockey is way too much, even though Buffalo is quite possibly the worst team in the NHL. Minus 250 is a bit too much. Last time we recommended a Buffalo game, we recommended Sam Reinhart as a prop bet to score a goal. I think I'm going to do that again tonight. He has odds to score at plus 200. Reinhart has scored at least 1 goal in 4 of his last 5 games. You have Anthony Beauvillier as well, who for the Islanders has scored a goal in 3 of 4 games. He has odds to do so at plus 205. I'm telling you, with a lot of these expensive money lines with hockey, I'm more of a prop guy here. But if something pops up that I recommend, I'll definitely let you know. We have Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. That is one of our featured games on VegasInsider.com. Definitely want to check out that betting preview. Let's see here. The goal total has gone over in 4 or 5 meetings between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Might want to look into that. The goal total is set at 6. I could see this being a very high-scoring game. Sidney Crosby, plus 123 to score a goal. He has done so in 6 of 7 games when playing at the Wells Fargo Center. Also, keep in mind, Oscar Lindblom has odds to score a goal at plus 360 for Philadelphia. He has scored a goal in 2 straight home games when facing Pittsburgh. Moving on to Chicago versus Carolina. The Hurricanes, they have won 8 straight home games after winning in overtime the game prior. But again, their odds to win are substantial, minus 260. I don't know who in their right mind would touch that. That's not good value at all, especially against a team. I mean, Chicago, look, Carolina is the better team. But if Chicago were to beat the Hurricanes in Raleigh, I don't think anyone would blink twice over that. Alex DeBrincat, he has been Chicago's best scorer, I would think, this year. He has scored a goal in 2 straight games. He has odds to do so at plus 190. So maybe look into Alex DeBrincat. I think anytime you can get DeBrincat to score a goal that's hovering the plus 200 territory range, you should probably take a chance on it. He might be in a cold streak, but he's the best scorer for Chicago right now. And he's had a good season. So I like Alex DeBrincat in that regard to score a goal at plus 190. You have the Capitals taking on the Rangers. This is another one of our featured games on VegasInsider.com, which you can check out the preview for. The Capitals, they have lost 4 straight games when playing in Madison Square Garden, so I do think that you might be able to look at New York and get plus value for them. As you can see right here, they are split with Capitals, but as I'm looking on DraftKings right now, yeah, they're minus 106, so you're going to see short underdog odds for the Rangers. Again, I'm not sure if I would take that. I just think if you're going to get an underdog, you want plus value, especially when you're facing the Washington Capitals. They're the best team in the East Division of hockey this year, so I think I would probably pass on this game unless I see a goal total trend I like. I don't. Now, the Rangers, they have covered the puck line in 5 straight games, but as an underdog, you're going to be getting the Rangers as a plus 1.5 puck line, which is minus value, which is going to be even more expensive than if you were to just take them straight up. So I would stay away from the Capitals and the Rangers. The Predators and the Blue Jackets. Now, the Blue Jackets, they've been in free fall mode pretty much the whole season, but they have a silver lining tonight. They have seen the home team win 8 straight games. They are the home team tonight against the Nashville Predators. Now, Nashville, they have won 3 straight games against Columbus, including 4 of the last 5. So I really wouldn't take Columbus. If you want to take the goal total has gone under in 3 of 4 games played between these two teams. And then if you want to take a player prop bet, might want to look into Patrick Lane. He has scored a goal in 2 straight home games when Columbus is the underdog. He has odds to score at plus 215. And Eric Haula for the Predators has scored a goal in 3 of 4 games. He has odds to score a goal at plus 280. So again, some good prop bets in this game to look into. The Boston Bruins really have no excuse to lose to the New Jersey Devils tonight. But again, I'm not taking the Bruins because they're minus 235. And the Devils, actually, believe it or not, they have Boston's number. The Devils have won 4 of the last 5 meetings against Boston. Also, the Devils, the underdog has won 4 or 5 games between the two teams, which New Jersey has been the underdog pretty much every single time they go head-to-head. So there's a lot to like about New Jersey in this game. Plus 200, I think I'd rather take a chance on that, even though the Bruins should win. But the Devils, they play well as the underdog against Boston. If you're looking for some prop bets for the Devils, Pavel Zacha, he has scored a goal in 3 of his last 4 games. He has odds to do so at plus 300. So if you take that and the Devils at 300, 200, and the Devils win off of a Pavel goal, you're looking pretty good tonight. Taylor Hall, he has scored a goal in 3 of 5 games for Boston when they are the favorite. He has odds to score a goal at plus 190. Let's see. We're going through these as quick as we can. Winnipeg and Ottawa. Let's pull this up. All right, the Jets, they've lost 6 straight games, so if you fancy Ottawa at home, more power to you. They're plus value. What are they here? Plus 130. Yeah, I see plus 135 on DraftKings, so, I'm not going to argue Ottawa. For Ottawa, Josh Norris has odds to score a goal at plus 300. He has scored a goal in 3 straight home games, so I would look into Josh Norris possibly scoring a goal. You also have Thomas Chabot, who has scored a goal in 2 straight games. He has odds to score a goal at plus 380. Goal total, is there anything here I like? All right. So the goal total has failed to go over in 4 of 5 meetings between the two teams. Also, Ottawa has covered the puck line at plus 1.5 in 4 straight meetings against Winnipeg. I think there's a lot to like about the Senators tonight, and I think there's a lot to like about Josh Norris getting on the scorecard tonight. So I'd look into those two regarding the Jets and the Senators. But the fact that Winnipeg has lost 6 straight games and the fact that Ottawa has covered the puck line in 4 straight against Winnipeg, leads me to believe that the home team might be the better wager for that game. What else we got? Toronto, Montreal. This should be a really good game. Where the hell are they? Here we go. The Bell Center. All right, so Toronto, they've won 9 of 10 games after winning the game prior. So this is a team that does very well winning back-to-back. I think the only other team that can really compare to them doing that is Vegas. They're a very good back-to-back winning club. Tyler Toffoli has odds to score a goal at plus 165. I think I would take that considering he has scored a goal in 6 of 7 games. Toffoli really came on strong to start the year for Montreal, scoring goals at will. Kind of took a back seat about 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago. He was struggling to get any points, and over his last 7 games, he scored a goal in 6. So I think I'd bet on Toffoli. His return is here to stay. I think Montreal needs to get into the postseason. They're trying to get in there, stay in there, and Toffoli has to continue scoring goals if that's the case. So I think I'd bet on him plus 165. Stay away from Austin Matthews. He should score a goal. He scored a goal in 4 or 5 games, minus 110 though. So I'm not too sure I would take minus value for a goal scorer in any game, even if it's Wayne Gretzky. But if you like Austin Matthews and you like the Maple Leafs, I'm not going to argue it. The guy's a beast. So I just won't be taking that. I'd rather take Toffoli to score a goal, just because his trends and value are really hard to ignore. Almost done here. We got the Dallas Stars and the Florida Panthers tonight. Trying to wrap up before 7 for everybody. A little before 7, so you guys have time to go lock bets. The Florida Panthers, they've won 8 of their last 9 games when playing at home, which is actually a few miles down the road from here at Sunrise, Florida. Florida, they've seen the goal total go over in 4 or 5 games, and I might want to stay away from that because when you look at head-to-head meetings between the Stars and the Panthers, the goal total has failed to go over in 4 of the last 5 games. Florida, as I mentioned, won 8 of 9 at home. They've also won 4 of the last 5 meeting against Dallas, so I think of the two, I'd probably lean towards that minus 130 for Florida. Let me see if there's any prop bets. No prop bets that I'm feeling, so we will move on. What do we got? The Anaheim Ducks and the St. Louis Blues. Let's see here. The road team has won 14. Holy moly. The road team has won 14 of 15 games played between these two teams. Immediately look to the plus 210 for Anaheim based off that trend. Don't think, just look. 14 of 15. That's a heck of a sample size right there. That I could also tell you that the home team is due to win, but for plus 210 and that trend, I think I would favor the road team here, which is Anaheim. Anaheim has also won 2 of its last 3 games. St. Louis, they just dropped their last game to Minnesota. However, they won 4 in a row prior to that. So the Blues at home now, they are the better team, but there are some trends in value to make you maybe lean towards Anaheim here. I think I'm going to take Anaheim in this game for an upset. And that would be a pretty big upset because Anaheim's no good, and St. Louis has finally got their momentum under them, it looks like. So we're moving on to what is going to be possibly the biggest game of the night. It is going to be on NBC Sports Network at 8 p.m. We have a Vegas Insider preview for this game. Huge game. We're talking about the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Minnesota Wild. Wild trend here for Vegas. They have won 12 straight games after winning in overtime the game prior. And if you recall, they won in overtime the game prior, so, they should win. 12 in a row. I'm telling you, this team does not lose back-to-backs often. I can't tell you. Let's see. When was the last time Vegas lost back-to-back? Last time Vegas lost back-to-back games was the end of March. It was on April Fool's Day, which was the April Fool's joke that Vegas lost back-to-back games because that doesn't happen ever. So I have no reason to go Minnesota here. I look at the money line at minus 124 for Vegas as a road favorite against a good team. I have no reason to go Vegas here either. So let's look at props or possible goal totals. The goal total has gone under in 3 of 4 games played between both teams. Maybe look into that market. Minnesota has covered the puck line in 4 straight games against Vegas, and they've beaten Vegas in 4 straight games. So there's some crossing trends here. Vegas, they've won 12 in a row after winning in overtime the game prior. But Minnesota has Vegas's number. They've won 4 in a row against them. They've covered the puck line in 4 in a row against them. What are we looking at? Plus 105 to win straight. I think I'd look in that for Minnesota. They are home. They play well at home. They've got one of the best young rookies in Kirill Kaprizov. So I might want to go Minnesota here. I know Vegas is a beast of a team. But Minnesota play as well as Vegas plays in consecutive games. Minnesota plays just as well at home. So I'm torn, but I'm gonna go with the goal total going under, and I'm gonna go with Minnesota winning straight up as an upset. I also I just mentioned Kirill Kaprizov to score a goal. He has done so in 6 of 8 games for Minnesota, and the young lad has odds to do so tonight at plus 148. William Karlsson has scored a goal in 3 of 4 games, and he has odds to do so at plus 195. So I would look into Kirill scoring a goal for Minnesota. I would look at Minnesota maybe winning, and I'd probably look at the goal total going under for this battle. All right, moving on. 3 more hockey games, and we'll wrap it up. Let's see. We got the LA Kings. They're going to be taking on, not the Lakers or the Clippers, but the Kings. They're going to be taking on the Arizona Coyotes. So Arizona has seen the underdog win 4 or 5 home games when facing the Kings, and the Kings are the underdog at plus 135, so might want to look into LA. I think LA is just always a good pick as an underdog this year. They've been better. They were more competitive than they've been in the years past. Jonathan Quick, look, all I'll say with the Kings is that they should be worse than they are. And they're actually pretty competitive this year. 19-24-6 record. I mean, it's not great, but this is a team that's been at the bottom of the NHL for a few years now after being a dynasty for a little bit. So, you do what you want here. I think the Kings as an underdog is always a fine bet. When you have a trend that then tells you that the underdog should win, and it's the Kings, I think that's a fine bet as well, home or away. I don't think that matters with the Kings. There's no goal total trends to really back yourself on here. Arizona's won 3 of 4 against the Kings, so maybe if that, if the underdog trend scares you, you go towards Arizona here. But I think the Kings are a fine bet. Let me clarify, I'm not betting the Kings in this game, but if you like the Kings, I won't argue it. I think that's a fine bet. I have no issue with that. At some prop goals, though, there's plus 400 value here. So I think I would look into the prop goals a little bit more. Christian Fischer has scored a goal in 2 straight games for Arizona. He has odds to do so at plus 430. Then you have Gabriel Villardi for the Kings. He has scored a goal in 2 of 4 games against Arizona. He has odds to score a goal at plus 400. So you have a few players there that could score. And you're making bank if they do so. Plus 430 for Christian Fischer, plus 400 for Gabriel Villardi. 2 more hockey games we got. We've got the Colorado Avalanche taking on the San Jose Sharks. I really don't see how anyone could bet against Colorado. At the same time, look at their money line. Minus 260 is way too expensive. Colorado, they have won 10 straight games when playing at night after winning at home the game prior. So I don't really see a reason to take San Jose. There's no player prop bets I like, and the goal total trends are kind of all over the place. So I think I would just pass on this game. Now, if you see that the Sharks take an early lead at some point in the game and you want to live bet Colorado for cheaper value, possibly plus value, look, if Colorado's down 2 goals to San Jose, I won't argue a live bet on the Avalanche for plus value. I think that's really the only way you can bet this to see value in this game. So if you're uneasy live betting, if you're not going to be paying attention to the game as it's being played, get away from Colorado, San Jose. And then we have one more, Edmonton, some Canadian action. We got Edmonton versus Vancouver, who has really messed up the entire NHL schedule. We would be in the playoffs right now, I think, if Vancouver didn't get crazy, or we'd be close. I'm not sure. We'd be closer, that's for sure. Anyway, I'll shut up about Vancouver. The Canucks, they've lost 9 of 10 games after losing on the road the game prior. You look at Edmonton, they're minus 200, far too expensive, but they should win this game. They've won 3 of their last 4 games against the Canucks. The goal total, there aren't really any trends that you can stick on to. So are there any prop bets? Yeah, there's no real prop bets there. This might be another game you want to stay away from. Now, if you like Colorado and Edmonton, you want to parlay them, feel free. I have an issue parlaying professional road teams, though, especially in hockey. Sometimes it's such a crapshoot in terms of who's going to win the game. I think I'll pass on this game. I'm just trying to go through some trends here, see if I can find some value for some people. Okay, so in the third period, over 2.5 total goals has hit in 4 of 5 home games for Vancouver when playing at night. You can get over 2.5 third period goals plus 150. So I tried. I tried to find something for you for plus value for Edmonton, Vancouver, but not much there. Thin pickings, as you could say. So, yeah, that's going to be it. We got through, it was 6:39. That's not too bad. I give you 20 minutes to get some stuff in. Hopefully you took your notes. Always bring a piece of paper and a number 2 pencil when you watch us on this stream. So what do we want to say? We want to tell you to register for us at vegasinsider.com to make yourself eligible to win, if you look right below me, win a weekly package of free picks from whatever handicapper you want. We're not just going to give you a handicapper. You can pick whatever handicapper you want. You get a week of free picks. All you have to do is like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and register at vegasinsider.com. That way, you get a Vegas Insider ID. Leave your best bet in the comment box. If it hits, you could be selected to win a week's worth of free picks. And also keep in mind that you have to put your Vegas ID, your Vegas Insider ID, in your best bet. Otherwise, we have no idea how to reach you, because all your information is, when you register through us. We have your email and phone, so we can contact you and get you your week's worth of free picks. And again, it could be any bet you want. Over under third period goals, player prop goal scoring, home run hitter, strikeout total, first inning run line, anything you want. It just has to be a winner. And try to stay away from the absurd heavy favorites. Like if you're out here taking late night tennis Nadal minus 1,000, you're not going to get chosen. So just keep that in mind. You want to pick tough. Don't pick minus 500 favorites. So just don't do it. Let's see. We are going to be back normal time tomorrow at noon. I think we're going to be doing our 6 p.m. edition next on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So if you liked this, more power to you, but we'll be back Thursday doing it for 6 p.m. Otherwise, we will be back tomorrow with K-Raj in the house, our weatherman, our MLB weatherman. He will be back at noon tomorrow. But for Thom Cunningham and everyone here at Vegas Insider, that's going to do it for us. And good luck with your bets. Go out there, make some money, because that's the most important thing. And until next time, we'll see.